All right, let's jump right in. After years of, well, a deep freeze in relations, India's prime minister is actually planning a visit to China. Now, this isn't just any old meeting. It's a massive potential turning point for two of Asia's biggest powers. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how this happened and what it all really means. I mean, how do you even get from a violent, deadly border clash to a formal summit handshake? It seems almost impossible, right? So, the big question is, why now? What on earth changed to make this possible? Let's really dig into it. Okay, so first, let's just lay out the basic facts. Who, what, when, where. We've got Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's heading to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, also known as the SCO. It's happening around August 31st, 2025. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty standard, right? A routine summit. But trust me, to get why this is such a huge deal, we've got to rewind the clock a bit. And here's the kicker. This is the first time an Indian prime minister will set foot in China since that deadly 2020 clash in the Galwan Valley. I mean, that single event just completely shattered the relationship. It put everything on ice for years. And if you want to understand just how serious that freeze was, you have to start with this one number, 20. 20 Indian soldiers were killed in that clash. Just think about that for a second. It was the most deadly fight between these two nuclear-armed neighbors in decades. So yeah, that's why things got so bad so fast. And the fallout? It was immediate. The official description was that relations became extremely poor. And look, that's putting it mildly. This wasn't just some diplomatic spat or a cold shoulder. It was a deep, hostile standoff that basically locked both countries in a stalemate for years. You know, this timeline really tells the whole story. You see the Galwan clash in May 2020, and then nothing. Just a long 4-year diplomatic stalemate. High-level talks were totally off the table. But then, look, October 2024. Suddenly, something changes. There's a crucial meeting at the BRICS summit, and that one event is what paves the way for this planned 2025 visit. So what was that turning point? What finally broke the ice? It all came down to a single, crucial meeting in late 2024. A face-to-face conversation between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi on the sidelines of the BRICS summit. That was it. That's the moment that broke the diplomatic logjam. And you don't even have to look far to see the change. Just look at the language they used. The difference is night and day. Before that meeting, the official line was extremely poor relations. After, suddenly everyone's talking about a new impetus for the relationship. It's a textbook example of how a single diplomatic handshake can totally flip the script. So, what did they actually agree to in that meeting? Well, it really came down to 3 key things. First, they both committed to finding a full resolution for the border issues. Second, they publicly welcomed the troop withdrawals that were already happening. And third, and this is probably the most important part, they agreed to handle any future problems without letting it disturb the peace. That's the understanding that made this whole 2025 visit possible. Okay, so that kind of covers the why now. But what about the where? Why is this all happening at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit? I mean, why there? Well, it turns out the choice of venue is a really big piece of this puzzle. So for anyone who's not familiar, what exactly is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO? Well, think of it as a huge Eurasian alliance. It's all about politics, economics, and security. And its members? We're talking about China, India, Russia, and several Central Asian countries. It's basically a built-in platform for these major regional powers to talk to each other. But you have to step back and look at the bigger picture here. This visit isn't happening in a vacuum. Sure, the FCO is a convenient stage, but the global context is everything. This is all going down while the U.S. has been criticizing the BRICS bloc, which, remember, includes both India and China, with the U.S. president even claiming the bloc is trying to challenge the dollar. So this isn't just about two neighbors fixing a problem. It might signal a much bigger shift, a potential realignment of power across Asia. Which brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is this handshake a real, genuine reset for these two Asian giants? A sign that they're truly moving past the conflict of 2020? Or is it just a temporary truce, a practical move made because the global chessboard is changing? The answer? whatever it is going to shape not just their relationship, but the entire global balance of power for a long, long time.